All right, everybody. Welcome to the Arcanaverse. Let's give a nice round of applause for Steelstar, the senior games designer from Standing Stone Games, who works on our favorite game, Dungeons & Dragons Online. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for choosing to come on and hang out with me today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, appreciate you. All right, so just real quick, for those that don't know you, including myself, this is our first time meeting, so I'm super excited to have you. If you could give us a quick rundown of what your day-to-day is, what you do for Standing Stone and DDO in particular.
Sure. I'm a senior systems designer, and that entails a lot of the design of the systems throughout DDO, which ranges really widely from character classes, races, enhancement trees, loot, combat, feats, you name it.
So, my opinion, DDO is probably one of the most complex games out there as far as interweaving those kinds of systems.
Yeah.
So you do not have an easy job, I guess. I'm personally extremely impressed. Are you largely kind of like solo on that stuff, or like I imagine the whole team helps you to some degree, but
yeah,
like, are you the arbiter?
I'm not exactly the arbiter. A lot of what goes on in the systems team is collaborative, with some of it coming in like larger meetings about direction for the game as a whole. But there are times where I get to decide, I need to work on, for instance, the loot for the upcoming expansion pack, and I do get to decide what's that going to look like, what's going to be different about the loot in this expansion pack, is there going to be crafting involved, that kind of thing. And then once I've kind of made some of those decisions, I usually do bring it back to the rest of the team, talk through the ideas, workshop some things, until we land on something the team's happy with.
Man, awesome. Hey, I appreciate you. I know that is, you probably lose a lot of sleep trying to put some of this stuff together.
Yeah, a little bit.
Including this one, which we're going to be talking about, Vecna Unleashed secret mechanic.
Yeah.
Starting with the Steps of the Steps of Bliss secret. Now I heard a rumor, all right, that basically this wouldn't exist without your personal input. Is that true or false?
Yeah, this was mine. I had some time open toward the end of that expansion pack, and we had done a couple of big secrets in the previous expansion packs, and I wanted to try my hand at one. So I said, I'll take on this one, and I'll see if I can do something kind of different from anything we've done.
Which it definitely turned out different. I think it's one of the coolest ones ever. I mean, granted, they're all really cool. I love them all. From Dark Dagger to the Dark Secrets to Fate Twisted Chest. I love Fate Twisted Chest. You kidding me? And of course with Steps. So kind of walk me through a bit of the background, man. Like, how did you settle on this?
So one of the things I knew I wanted to do with it is hide it in a way that was going to be somewhat counter to the way that a lot of people typically play the game, because that would help ensure that it would stay hidden longer. And I wanted it to be something that, someone couldn't just find and then immediately in the next several hours just go through the whole thing. And so with that, I started thinking about, well, what options do we have to kind of give this a long tail and a slow burn? And I knew we had kind of this ability to check if the last day you did something was different than the previous day you did something. And I started building off of that.
Oh, seems I'm still having audio troubles. How's that?
Did I lose you?
Nope, I'm still here. Apparently my music was really loud, which had to be my in-game music, so hopefully...
I think I can still hear you if you're there.
Testing 1, 2. Now, why did that stop working? What? Hold on. Testing 1, 2.
Hello, I hear you again.
All right, I don't know why that happened, but okay, we're back.
Okay.
Between audio issues in game and Discord, that was glad that happened both at the same time.
Okay. Did I cut off in the middle of what I was
No,
saying there? Should
I think we got you the whole time.
Okay.
Just me, which it's okay. I didn't have anything interesting to say, so we're good.
Mind if I tag along?
But yeah, it was trying to figure out how to do something that would have a long tail, be different than what we've done before, and kind of stay hidden, not for as long as possible, but for longer than some of our other secrets had.
Oh yeah, because it was. I mean, for my side of the experience, right? It was just kind of like, all right, I'm going to go through. I'm going to talk to every NPC just to see what I can find. And of course, you come across steps and go like, oh, I bet they're a part of it. Whatever secret's there, right? Because after, it's back to the God of Secrets, Vecna Unleashed. So like, there's got to be a secret somewhere. Like so Steps is going to be involved somehow. But you talk to her the first time, and it's like, well, okay, that's it. Nothing
exactly.
really, what's going on there? It's like, all right, well, go on, spin my wheels, look at somewhere else, and then eventually someone comes along and goes like, hey, I got different dialogue this time.
Yeah, it really was meant to be day one. It's you talk to them and they kind of have the same dialogue that any similar NPC might have. And day two is still pretty similar to day one. It's a little bit different. But I think it's day 3 where they start being like, hey, I remember you.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So that was a huge adventure going on. So for those at home that haven't gone through the Steps of Bliss secrets, I do have a thing. Ooh. Oh, a little dialogue tree. So basically for
again?
2. Nope, I'm back.
Oh,
I
there we go.
have to hold down push to talk, so you'll lose me sometimes. But they'll hear me on stream, so we're good. But yeah, no, it takes about 14 different trips. Doesn't have to be one day after another, but eventually you'll get like your own little side quest. You got to go a book and turn to the page, and then eventually you end up with these goggles, the legendary. Oh, that's not. There we go. Steps, lenses of seeing hidden hand secrets, which is a glorious name.
Well, I was sitting there trying to figure out what they should be named, and before you get them from Steps, she kind of asks you what they should be called, or gives a few suggestions, and they're all names of other goggles in DDO, which I was
seeing stuff.
Yeah, I was admittedly poking a little bit at the fact that we make so many items even in a given year that all need unique names that ideally aren't very similar to anything we've ever done before in 20 years. And so sometimes that's really daunting, because you'll be making the theme for an item, you get good effects, and you're like, I know the perfect name for this, and it turns out that name was already used in like loot from the caverns of Koromar at launch. And you have to go back to the drawing board. So with those, it was eventually like, okay, nope, we're forget the fancy name. They're Steps' lens of seeing stuff.
So I assume you've got like a thesaurus open at some point where you're out there just making items, right? You just...
all the time. Yeah. I've recently finished kind of the first draft of the loot names for the upcoming expansion, and it was a lot of thesaurus work.
It happens. Have you ever thought about like dipping into other languages and start mixing them with English? Or is that kind of like barred because DDO is supposed to be multilingual?
It would make certain things so much easier, where English has, a very limited number of adjectives for certain things, especially when you start getting into like boots. There's only about half dozen total names for boots. And we've used them all many times over.
It's classic. I love it, man. I mean, you've been building this game for over 20 years. Actually, how long have you been with Standing Stone / Turbine / whatever it was before?
Right. I started as a QA tester in 2010, right before the 5th anniversary of the game. So I've been here a little over, like around 15 and a half years.
Wow, still. I can't imagine there are too many more people senior than you still left on the team. I think there's maybe a handful of tops?
There's a few. A couple, but I'm definitely up there these days on the DDO team.
I mean, that's your title, of course, you know, senior games designer, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, so after you climb up to the rafters and you get your goggles, you equip them, and then all of a sudden, way back in the corner above, you get to unlock your own special little altar.
Yeah.
With the unholy Defiler of the Hidden Hand equipment.
Yeah, and you can put the weapons you've been finding throughout that X pack in there to make stronger versions that have like different visuals, different effects. Yeah, it was just something we wanted to try.
I think this is what gives this secret in particular its staying power, right? Because like, you know, with like Fey Twisted, for example, like once you've kind of outgrown the Feywilds, you're kind of done with it, right? You know, I mean, you're gonna revisit as you reincarnate, but if you're somebody who like lives at endgame but whatnot, but like here, this is a lot of extra steps to go get these kind of cool cosmetics. So like odds are you're not going to find a lot of people running out in the wild with this kind of thing unless they deliberately, you know, spend 2 weeks to go get that. And I think that's what makes it extra special. Yeah,
it kind of takes a deliberate effort to slow down a little bit, which is again kind of counter to how a lot of people play DDO. But it is only something you have to do once in the grand scheme of things, because once you have the goggles, you can get to the altar kind of anytime you need to. But I think for anybody who hasn't given it a go and has the Vecna Unleashed expansion, it's worth taking the time to do, even if you're doing it on an alt or an iconic you roll up or something. Because I think it's just one of the more interesting things we've done.
I mean, just the story alone, I think, is pretty neat. In fact, I got some questions about some of the NPCs that it gets talked about.
Yeah.
We'll start with Steps herself. That's not her original name per the dialogue. Would you be really? Do you know what her original name was?
I don't think I do. I think I put that in there as like bit of a sense of intrigue, and I'd had some plans at the time to maybe do something later that hasn't come to pass yet. So I'd have to go back through my notes to say for sure. But if we do get the chance to use Steps again sometime in the future, I think that'd be a fun thing to explore.
Well, because you have my vote, my guy. Because she also mentions Brick. Now, I could have sworn Brick is somewhere in the game already, but I couldn't find them for the life of me.
Yeah.
So they must have been just a reference to maybe something you were going to do later.
I think that may have also been a planned future thing that maybe just has not come back up yet. Sorry if I'm not quite specific on those particulars. It's been a little bit since then.
I mean, no, you have full excuse here. I've been meaning to do this interview for 2 years, right? So like, I understand things are not going to go. So, but also too, the acceptable answer is, hey, we might do something with it later. I can't talk about it right now. That's a totally legit thing. So no worries there at all. But I had to ask, I was like, oh, curious. And also, but speaking back on Steps, like her name is so unique. Do you recall like where you got that inspiration from?
So Steps almost, if I'm remembering correctly, Steps came from just the fact that this was a 14-step process. And so I was just thinking of a name, and I was trying to go for a very, Eberron, Sharn, little bit of that noir kind of feeling, where, Steps of Bliss might be somebody who walked into a detective's agency and asked for help. Or could be found, in plumbing through some giant ruins, Bliss, I think, came from a character in a D&D, a pen and paper D&D game I was playing at the time. And I just happened to like it as a last name, and so I brought it in.
Oh, I like that, actually. That's pretty cool. Speaking, no, maybe I should come back to that later. I definitely want to talk about other Easter eggs you may have hidden throughout the game. That'll come back in a second here. But to finish up on, not to finish up necessarily, but to continue on with the Steps thing, One of the cool parts about this was the ARG component that Cordovan was trying to coordinate with his, like, he was trying to put like little hints in his streams and his social media posts. Any stories from that era that you could recall?
I do recall that so it's hard with kind of a subtle start to this quest to know if people have figured it out and just aren't talking about it yet, or like kind of where they are in the process until it really starts to become public knowledge. So short of, kind of dredging some kind of difficult to grab data off a very large number of characters, we hadn't heard anything kind of hitting the public eye in the first couple of days. So we were like, we do want people to find it and get started on it sooner or later, because we knew it would take, at least 2 weeks to kind of pan out. So we decided to just start seeding little bits of information to see if people would start to pick up on it. Fun thing about it, I was running the 14 days since the first day the expansion launched, because obviously I knew how to do it. So I think I was 4 days ahead of most folks that were on the trail of it once it kind of became popularized on the forums and people were really looking for like how to get through this whole thing, which was good because I actually found a small bug.
Oh no!
In my playthrough of it that we were able to then patch before anybody else ran into it.
Whew, man.
Yeah. I was like, oh, we gotta fix that real quick, and we knew we had a patch coming up anyway, so it was easy to just test it, get it into that build, and it never came up for anybody else.
See, these are the secrets we're after, man, because we would have never heard about that otherwise. But that's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, just to give you a point of view from my memory of it, from the player side, was kind of like, all right, we did, because our community here on the Arcanaverse is just, we're super into the secrets that you guys put in the games. We're super appreciative. We have a lot of fun with it. And so, like, after we didn't find it initially, and some of our community members started noticing, like, all right, cool. So, like, we're zooming in. Like, I found, like, the exact few pixels, right, of, like, where one of the chests were going to be once we could figure out how to reveal it. It was like, all right, we know in this quest, there's going to be one. We know in that quest, there's going to be one. Like, we know where you're going to be able to farm your stuff from, but, like, and I was like, all right, but we haven't found the damn beginning yet. Obviously, a few days later, somebody goes, we got it. And then and they were a few days ahead of me. So ultimately, I had to live through them to go through it, but still, the whole community came together, and I don't know, we had a lot of fun with it, trying to, going through it. Yeah, no, it was a blast. But for those that did not know, for once you complete this, you can complete on any character. You can do it on a bank alt. The goggles is all you really need, and those are bound to account, so you can share them between your characters, so you don't only have to do it really once. It's not like you gotta do it every life or something like that, and then you're good to go. You have access to this forever.
And that was an important part in the design too, is I knew once you kind of had gotten through the principle of it, I wanted to leave you with something where you could access the mechanical portion of the reward without having to do the whole experience again unless you wanted to.
It wasn't me that solved it. I showcased the person who did, who ultimately, like they were further enough ahead in line, we just kind of followed them on their journey each day. Well, not necessarily each day. Each time I was able to check in on the stream, because I only streamed 1 day a week back then. So
yeah,
we just followed along their journey, and then I go through mine, like, I think the following week, and then be able to show it off, from my actual point of view, and hopefully I have that recorded somewhere. I've been meaning to make a video now for 2 years, but things happen, right? Things happen.
Yeah, things happen.
Yeah, Yanami. I was absolutely the name. Thank you. I was just trying to search for it. I was like, oh shoot, it started with a Y. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
But yeah, man. So do you have any other stories to tell around the hidden hand secret here?
Let's see. There is. I don't know for sure if anybody clocked it, but day 12 has a set of dialogue that just splits slightly, and it's mostly like just flavor. But
Oh
on
yeah,
day 12, there's slightly different dialogue if you're divine but not good aligned, and if you're neither.
yeah. So quick spoiler on the screen for that. But yeah, it's on the wiki. So people figure that out. But yeah, that was a cool twist.
Oh, and then there's an additional one if you are really specifically a dark apostate.
Is that mentioned on here?
I don't know.
I don't think it is. All right, chat. We now have a new mission. We'll be rolling up in a dark apostate to go through the step secrets to find out the unique dialogue, so we can get this wiki updated and completed. That's awesome. We've got something.
Excellent.
We've got a mission.
There you go.
Oh. Now, does this so if I do a divine and good, do I just get the divine, or do I get the good also? So like, do I have to do a non-good dark apostate in order to get to the dark apostate?
I'd have to look back through the scripting. I'm just looking at the dialogue right now, and kind of the way I labeled it is the options are divine but not good aligned, neither divine nor good, and then one labeled super special dialogue for dark apostates.
Cool. All right, so we'll just do a dark apostate. We'll do a non-good just to make sure, and then yeah, we'll have to. Oh, I'm excited now. I can't wait. I can't wait to start. We're gonna see what the secret dialogue is. That's awesome. That's so cool. All right. Yeah. No, nothing in here. I see brick. I see the divine. I see the good, but no. See us talk about the book. But yeah, dark apostate. There you go. So we'll have that figured out in a couple weeks. Tune back in.
I like when I'm doing more often when I'm doing content than systems, I get the opportunity, but I like working in when I can specific little bits for specific kinds of characters, because I think it adds quite a bit of flavor in a way that, like, when you do find it, it's just a really nice experience.
Yeah, I love that stuff. It makes the world feel more alive, right? It's not just go here, do quests, but like, oh, you can find these things in the overworld, and it'll change sometimes the outcome, and like, it's, to me, that's DDO to me now, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's where I get the most fun. But Valkyria asks a very important question that you probably can't answer, but we're going to ask it anyway. Do we get to look forward to any new secrets on the level of like this in the next upcoming expansion?
Ooh. You know, I would love to. I'm not sure it's going to happen just looking at my own timeline for this expansion, but it's something I would love to do if I do have the time. Got a lot of there's a lot of loot coming in this expansion, and I've just wrapped up the Dwagar and the Iconic that are coming with 80. So if I can get through this big pile of loot timely, maybe.
All right, so then I guess I'll have to cut this interview short so that way you can get to that. No, I'm just kidding. But I also just noticed that you pronounced it Dwagar. I was definitely pronouncing it, calling it Drugar. So I'm curious if you have more official information than I do, because I'm going off of when I was a teenager.
It is not pronounced Dwagar. I've just had trouble shaking that habit through this entire development process. And I think there's a video overview of Dwargar stuff that's probably coming around the launch of Update 80, and you'll see me go back and forth on pronunciations a couple of times because I just cannot seem to get myself to do either of the two correct pronunciations. There are in fact two that are correct. And I think they are Dwargar and Duragar. I think those are the two correct ones. Dwagar is not correct, and I just cannot seem to shake the habit.
I mean, all words are made up, right?
Yeah.
Fantasy ones especially, so we gotta give some leeway. But it's funny. So, because that probably means I'm not pronouncing it correctly either. So, so if you're in the wrong, I'm in the wrong. We'll be wrong together.
Yeah.
And I'll never shake mine. I refuse. I've been calling up Drugar for, close to 30 years. So
Long time. I think some of the other pronunciations have been canon at various times too. I think it has shifted over time before they landed on these canon too.
Oh man. All right. So now, if we're kind of done talking about the hidden secrets, I'm very curious if you have any other personal or secret Easter eggs that are known maybe only to you that you would be willing to share with us, so we can kind of maybe go visit some of them if they're visitable.
Let me take a think. There are occasionally pieces of loot that are little references to things, varying from things that were in personal D&D games that I know nobody outside would get. It's just, that one's for me. The one that springs to mind is the... make sure I didn't write. The dragon eyes from the new cards. Where that was the update we added Dragonborn, and at the time I was running a pen and paper campaign, and one of my players was a Dragonborn barbarian, and anytime we would just enter a space, he would tell me, I look out on the field of battle, what do my dragon eyes see? Which is the flavor text for that item. And my answer would be the same thing as anyone else. Dragonborn don't have dark vision. They don't have any specific vision.
Special. Which I might have the wrong dragon's eye. I have a massive star ruby that resembles an eye.
That's the dragon's eye. These are the dragon eyes. Again, back with the conventions of naming are so difficult.
Aha! Oh, okay, yeah, I see here from Druth Bagon?
Yeah, that was his character in that pen and paper game.
See if I can zoom in on this so people can actually read it. There we go. Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. That is a good quote too. Not gonna lie. I mean, obviously a little Lord of the Rings riffy, but
yeah.
But just
what do my dragon eyes see? Just they see the normal things. They see exactly what you'd expect to see. And meanwhile, the rest of that party all had dark vision or some other kind of modified sight based on their character species, but not him. He could see, and his perception was terrible. He could see nothing useful.
That's good, man. I like it. I might have to do that myself in my own home game. Just let's go out. Yeah, playing with my human artificer right now. It's like, oh, I look on how to do. What did my special artificer eyes see? See the same thing. Yeah. Do you recall any others, my guy? This is awesome.
Hang on. I know that somewhere, and I'm trying to remember where, I had put a book about one of the hirelings.
A book about one of the hirelings?
Why can't I remember his name off the top of my head? It is the low-level Warforged hireling. Byron Scout Sword.
That's I mean, everybody knows Byron. Man,
Byron
is that...
Scoutsword, the hero of Korthos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Byron is, just the level 1 barbarian hireling. But, like, here and there has kind of just gotten a little bit memed within DDO and sometimes within the team as well, of just being like, oh, it's the all-powerful hero, barbarian Byron Scoutsword, hero of Korthos. And I forget where it is. I want to say it is in Vecna Unleashed. It's elsewhere. There's a book that you can read called "Fighting for Purpose: The Legend of Byron Scoutsword," which just briefly touches on him being a hero of the last war.
I remember this book. Was that one of the consumable items? One of those books?
It might have been. I don't remember where it was. I just remember
Byron's lore
I was
expanded
helping
through the book "Fighting for Purpose: The Legend of Byron Scoutsword." The book chronicles life. Yeah, we got it on the wiki here, staring right at me.
Yeah, that came from I think it was Knockback, and I had toward the end of Vecna Unleashed. Again, I had kind of more time than a lot of other people, which let me work on the secrets. And Knockback was saying I could use some help finishing up what I'm doing here. Could you just write a couple of in-lore books for this space? And I'm like, sure. And one of them was just that little book you can look at that tells you about Byron Scoutsword.
Now, if I can remember where that book is, that would be handy in the game. But it might be in that one quest. Darn. Okay. I do remember reading that, and I remember that being a pretty neat little nod. But man, it's been a couple years.
Yeah.
I thought it was in the town, but I don't...
I'm trying to track it.
So if somebody remembers where it's at, I will attempt to find it. Shoot. Thought it was on the lower level, but I'm clearly wrong.
It's in the public space, I think, actually. Hang on.
So I know we had that one library quest, but that's not...
Yeah,
I too also think it's in the public area. It has to be an upper. The airship. Is this gonna take me to the right spot? No. Yes.
Game. I think it's fun to find out that 11.
Alright, something's going on with your mic, my guy.
Is that better?
Try again?
Any better?
You've gone robotic on me.
Uh-oh. Let me see what I can do.
Sure. Give me a hot second to find that book.
Is that any better?
Right here. Yeah, that sounded better.
Okay. But yeah, just small things like I think it's fun to find out that this level 1 hireling was a war hero who now wants to help out new adventurers. The other one that I just remembered talking about this too is when a couple of years back, when we retired a lot of the guild augment system, there were the NPCs who would distribute guild augments in House Kundarik. And when we sunset that system, there was kind of no need for them to still be around, and I could have just removed them, but I decided it was better to have fun with them instead. So they left a note behind where they were that I think is still there, thanking everyone for their years of patronage and saying they're going on a nice vacation. And if you go into the kind of bathhouse, I think it is, in Ataraxia's Haven, they're just hanging out. They're taking that vacation.
I might not have known that.
Yeah, and not a lot
I
of
might.
people hang out in their room. There's not a whole lot going on in that part of the landscape. It's kind of just a flavor area, but they are in there.
Yeah, because one of my stream backgrounds is actually that. It's not like I'm in the hot tub there, but like that
Oh yeah.
screenshot would have been before this happened.
Mm.
Where's the note? I wonder where the note is.
It
'Cause
is.
did it get removed with the overhaul? I do kind of remember a note being here.
I'll take a look where I vaguely remember them standing. Okay, if you go into House Condark from the marketplace and kind of hang a left up the first set of stairs, it's like just on your left.
Yeah, no, I'm actually at the area.
Oh, okay. I can't
there it
see
is.
your
There it is. There it is.
stream at the moment.
Yeah. Off taking a long overdue vacation. Thank you for your many years of patience. Signed, Mirjam, Fairborn, Halcyon, and Gwyn, the Guild Crystal vendors. And they're out in Ataraxia. All right, so we'll get to find them later. Because that's in the... No, is there one outside the quest? A hot tub? Because I know there's one with... Jeez is the one I'm thinking of that's inside a quest. It's been a long time since I've been in Ataraxia.
Goodness, same. I think it's in... Let me go there real quick.
Yeah, it's in the Explorer area, not too far from the ship, Blade says. So, cool, we're going to take a quick... A quick trip. Thanks, Blade.
Fate has sent us down this path. Now let's explore it.
Yeah, it's the resort spa. It's not far from when you first get into Ataraxia's Haven.
It's actually funny, Matus. Twitchy's screaming my ear this entire stream. I have her muted, but she's not turned off. Banker. Pawn and gift shop. Oh, yeah, there they are. I went right past them. Or no, that's not them. Where are they at?
They're in the corner near the port agent.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah, I see them. It's awesome. Yeah, I did not know they moved here. So this is cool. The things you miss along the way in playing DDO. DDO's been around for so long now. Like, I've forgotten more about this game than most will ever know. Right?
I mean, even working on it, there's still occasionally a time where someone mentions something and I go, "Oh yeah, that's a thing."
He made yeah. Cool. Yeah. Did any of your other D&D tabletop exploits ever make it into the game that you can recall?
Let's see. Not that I recall. I'm sure like 2 days from now I'm gonna trip over one of them and go, I should have mentioned that one.
Hey,
but not off the top of my head.
We can have a follow up if you need it. You know, that's not a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, not right off the top of my head.
All right, no worries. I mean, of course, I said your D&D once, but I should have brought that open. If you have any other secret hidden Easter eggs that you can that you're proud of.
You will call on me again, and soon.
Or how about this? Back when you first started becoming a developer, I think they quite often have you work on NPCs, if I recall correctly. Do you remember the first one you ever made was?
First NPC I ever made. So the first piece of content I built was the pre-raid area for the Master Artificer raid, which was itself kind of a weird landscape. Weird like adventure area, right? It's go from the manufactory into what is still kind of technically a explorer area before going into the raid. So that was the first thing I built, and I don't remember if that's got much in the way of NPCs in it. I know it's got some monsters.
I mean, they don't have to be NPCs, but it was see if I can remember where the. Oh, that's power play.
So this is the Artificer
Fate has
Workshops,
sent us down this path. Now
and it
let's
starts out kind of in
explore.
this nice, sort of almost like ruined study area with a big green skylight up top of it. And I have a copy of that space as like still part of my hidden test area.
Then you will understand
Because
that
it was
I
like the
merely
first space
intend
ever
to
made, so
help
it's kind
the
of sentimental.
Warforged, nothing more.
Oh.
Please leave my workshop now. If
My-
you will not,
My hidden test
there
space,
will be
which is
consequences.
Yeah,
just
I gotta
where
ask about it. I gotta
I
ask
test,
about it, man.
yeah, where I test a lot of stuff. So it starts with that specific room from the start of the Artificer Workshops, and then goes out into just like a couple of more generic rooms. And the stuff I have in there is, I have a ton of those Korthos 2D seagulls because I find them really funny. You know, the kinds when you're just on the beach with Jeets and there's those seagulls, and they really just are 2D planes
Yeah.
of a seagull. But I put them up close and everywhere in my test space because I just find them fun. There is a gate, and behind that gate are 2 entrances to challenges that players can't play. But for whatever reason, whenever I've tried to get rid of those challenge entrances, so they don't exist in the game at all, and so they would drop out of the game data, everything just crashes. So they just live there now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
My other favorite permanent feature in my test space is the door of being locked all the time, which is a door that is locked, and if you unlock it and open it, it will then close itself and lock itself again. And I just use that for testing DCs of open
All right,
lock
man.
and knock and all that kind of stuff.
I gotta do it, but would you be willing to show us this test area of yours?
Yes. Give me.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, you can share your screen, or you can teleport me over there. I'll take either. But
I can't teleport you over there because there's stuff that might be in there that might be not great for the game. If you let someone-
that's totally fair.
Let me see if I can get. Oh, am I allowed to show this? Let me switch to a different character. I have some of the Dwagar stuff set up that is coming with pre-release, and I'm not going to show that. I'm going to switch to a different character.
No worries. Take your time, man. So
Okay.
while he's looking up that stuff, if anybody has any questions that you would like me to ask Steelstar of
This
things that he's
level
allowed to
one
talk
fighter
about,
named Hats.
feel free to drop it in chat here, and we'll go through it. Otherwise, so Rambo and Tenure, thank you so much for the follows. Strim Tom for the raid, really appreciate you, my guy. Sorry I didn't quite address you when you first came in, but it's been super fun. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying the show so far.
Okay, let me close up a few things.
I gotta find a way to, like, who is Fade? Oh, Fade. So a question from chat, do you know who Fade of the Wild Hunt is?
Fate of the Wild Hunt. That sounds very familiar. I can't place it right off the bat.
No, yeah, he put out that big video recently, and I know he's done some behind the scenes work with you guys in the past.
Yes. Okay. Yep. My brain was ransacking for game NPCs. Yes, I do know who that is.
Yeah. But there's a curious of, like, do we know who he actually is, or who they actually are, rather? So their actual identity seems to be a bit of a mystery.
Here we go.
Let me talk about the old Bazaar nuts. No.
Okay.
You want to keep that one?
Can you see my stream?
Can I make you more full screen? No. All right, but yes, I can.
Okay.
Let me show
So
it
this is
though.
that.
There we go.
All right. So this is that room I was talking about. I am remembering now. I did clear a lot of the deco from Master Artificer things out of here because I needed good performance in here. So I cut out a lot of things in this room that were
Fair.
kind of getting in the way. Levers blocked. There we go. Just hit it from the side. Okay. So we're in. We've got those seagulls. They're so great. Up they go.
I love it.
We have one of those supply crates from the Caneth challenges here that can break and dispense something when they're set up to. This one's not. There's those challenge doors I was talking about. They just live there behind this gate, which I think takes about 1,000 charisma to open.
Do not enter.
Yeah, just don't.
I mean, are they kind of like functional challenges, like those like real things?
There's nothing in them. They were planned variants of the Underdark Arena and the one with the Purple Dragon Knight. Ali's the wizard that you have to protect. But we ended up cutting them pretty early on, so there's nothing in them.
Yeah,
here's the door of being locked all the time. I'm a fighter. I don't have open lock. So it locked, it will remain. But if you do unlock it, you can open it, and then it will shut itself, relock itself. And I can do certain things to it to get it to kind of spit out its DC information at me a little easier. So it'll just like talk about its DCs.
I mean, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. It's good for testing. As recently as like a couple of weeks ago, somebody was like, "Do we have a good test case for this?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." This big empty room sometimes has things in it. I don't think it does right now. The last things that were in here were the statues and the raid boss for the Relentless raid, because this is where I was prototyping their actions before dropping them into the actual level. So I was trying to make sure that they could run around. I might be able to. Might still be here. Oh, no, that's one of the statues that can rise up and smoosh you. It's just not turned on.
So this is pretty neat.
Over here is Collapse Crusher of Souls. I was trying to debug a problem where something about its visual appearance didn't look right compared to the base non-targetable object it's supposed to be displaying, and so I had them both in here just so I could take a look at them side by side in the game client to fix a bug. And then this base is ladders and one satyr who's just dancing.
So this was the early attempts maybe to start trying to fix ladder bugs? Was that
yeah, that is actually part of why they're here is ladder bug investigations, a couple different kinds of ladders. And I had for a while down here, I had a pretty robust aggro experiment that's shown up in a couple of raids where, for instance, monsters might summon a bunch of minions and then tell their minions to go attack their aggro target.
Yeah, no, we've noticed that one for sure.
Yeah.
Quite familiar with that one.
Yeah. That was prototyped down in here. And that's the whole space. I don't have anything particularly fancy in here right now because I'm not working on any content or levels or raids at the moment. But yeah, that's the test space.
Hey, I appreciate you showing it. This is actually, to me, really super cool. But yeah, that's neat. So does I guess does like every developer have their own little special test area like you? Is this just like common practice, or is this
it's pretty
something
common.
you worked with?
There's a few people that prefer to work in kind of the shared test spaces. There's a couple of them. Fun fact that I like to bring up every now and again: the original launch box copy of DDO, one of the screenshots on it, it's a screenshot where they're fighting like a golem, I think. That's taken in a test space. that we still use all the time. But when I noticed that looking at the box, I'm like, oh, that's this specific test space. But I think a lot of us do have our own kind of test spaces that we kind of tailor for whatever we're doing at any given moment.
All right. If you're willing to take some questions from chat here, I think I actually know the answer to this one, but I'll let the expert explain it. But Dawn's Early Light spotted once upon a time in Just Business, the one with the sky sleds, there was an invisible switch in the midair about halfway through. It was interactable, like you could target it, right? But then like it did, or actually like you could use it, but it did nothing, and now it's gone. And he's curious as to what it was.
That was a debug lever used for triggering waves and certain stages of the quest when the developer needed to test things but didn't want to step through every bit of the quest every single time.
Yeah.
So I often build those out for raids where if I'm like, okay, I need to test just the last phase of the raid. I will often build a lever that goes, okay, stop everything, set everything up like it's the last phase so we can just test that. So that's what that kind of was. It let developers bypass having to play through it to go test stuff.
Look at that memory of yours. Holy smokes. See, I would have been wrong about that one, because I thought it may have been a developer trick where it might be like triggered by like, when all the monsters in a certain area die, that lever would trigger, and then that would load like the next zone or something, or the next set of monsters.
No, I don't think so. We don't often use levers in that way. We have objects we do use in that way, but they're usually very, very invisible. Same way.
Yeah, or at least that's the intent, right?
Right.
They're behind the scenes magic.
Yeah, when we were just in the test space and you saw me like targeting a green cone there, that kind of hidden, which those levers are also supposed to be, but occasionally they get missed.
Yeah, I love finding them though. That's like my favorite thing. It's like, oh, look at this little thing. Oh, it's great. So just a question for Valkyrie was, your little test area, is this on live or is this on your test servers?
No.
Uh-oh, did you freeze? I think he froze. Uh-oh. Steel?
You can't get there. There's no...
Oh, you froze there for a good hot minute.
There we go. Okay. I killed off the stream on my end, so that should make the video more stable.
Sounds good.
What was I just saying?
I asked if your test area was on live, and you said yes. And then that's when you froze.
So getting to any given area in DDO requires you to either go through teleporting there in some fashion, right? You click on a door and it takes you to a new area. So you would need something to click on that would take you to that specific place, or like a spell that teleports you to a specific place. My test area is a place in the world. There's just nothing that can bring you there, except for admin commands. So like admins can get there on live, and I occasionally do. If I have to do things on live and look at data, I will occasionally park it in my test space to do what I need to do. So it's there, just can't reach it. It's cool. The same way the test dojo, like you're in on Lamania. It exists on live, you just can't get there.
Yeah, sorry guys, those are kind of more like upcoming questions that you probably can't quite talk on.
I'm happy to field questions. If I can't talk about it, I can tell you I can't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, hey, what's the latest on the 64 to 64-bit server transfer?
I don't know that myself.
Yeah, will you ever go back and revamp loot like Menace of the Underdark?
Goodness, I want to. I've been talking about it for years. It's just one of those. It's a large undertaking, and I've kind of talked about ways to do it a couple times that wouldn't be as large an undertaking. It's finding a time where kind of that either I'm open enough to be able to do it and don't immediately need to do something else, or we can kind of partner it with something else we're doing in a way that makes sense. So I desperately want to revamp a lot of that loot. Same with the loot that's still kind of normal, hard, elite tiered from update 15 to 20. I would love to redo closer to what we do these days. It's just finding the time and the right opportunity, like a lot of things on DDO.
Oh, absolutely. Because I imagine you guys hit a lot of your own. I'm not sure who makes your deadlines these days. I imagine largely it's self-served, but some of it has to come from Daybreak too.
Yeah.
But so it's all comes down to what's the highest priority, kind of
Right.
get there, and then I've the way typical work cycles tend to go, especially in the world of software development, is you know, you don't exactly have a ton of free time to just sit around and like, I'll just go back and deal with this old stuff. Like, don't get a lot of that time.
Yeah. I find little bits where I can, but like you've seen the producer's letter for this year, the roadmap. And you see a lot of like what I'm working on through the rest of this year in that already. Which is, you know, we've got the Dwergar coming very shortly. We've got the rest of the expansion pack. But the Drow visual update that's on that 2026 roadmap is also me. So like that's going to take up quite a bit of my time as well in getting that together, which I'm very excited for. I think it's going to be fun.
So what I'm hearing is if you really want to see something, we got to create demand for it. And if there's enough demand, especially if we're willing to pay for it, we might be able to bump it up towards bubble it up. So that's the trick there. Need more Chai ask, is Standing Stone Games, I guess in general, embraced AI in its development process at all?
I don't think I can speak to the broader company on that subject. Like I have personal opinions on that if I'm able to go on that, which is I think it's an interesting technology with a lot of interesting uses. I don't think it factors well into the process of what I do specifically. Which is not to say anything about Standing Stone's overall philosophy on it. But I have done some research into it on my own, and it's just not something that I think factors well into my personal creative process. That's all.
Which is funny. It actually sparked my own question about AI, because some of the paintings that came out in some of the more recent contents, definitely they showed up a lot in Chill of Ravenloft. I don't think they're AI, but I'm like, did you guys like have someone paint that stuff, or did you find an asset somewhere? Because like I couldn't find a match of it existing on the broader internet. So I'm like, huh. Like, did SSG really go and just make all these cool old style paintings?
I'm pretty sure we did. I don't remember the exact process well enough to say with certainty, though. I would have to ask an artist.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair. That's definitely, you're the systems guy. So, but it was just funny. It just made me think of it. Let's see, what are other questions we got here from last minute from chat? Oh, did you slip any fun things into the new Dragon deck quests?
Ooh.
Do you have any specific memories from that?
I didn't work on the content for those. I was just the loot. I liked that I got to do a spin on Dragon Scale armors, because it's kind of been a long time since we touched those. And I think that was fun. Got to do some long scarves, which we haven't gotten to play with much outside of the hardcore seasons. Beyond that, I don't think so. My job on that was primarily loot, but I'm pretty happy with the loot that we did do for that X-Pack, and kind of the methodology changes I did in there in terms of approaching the flavor of the loot are gonna carry across to this expansion pack, so I'm pretty excited.
All right. Speaking of loot, I got a couple questions. What do you have a favorite piece of loot you've made?
Let's see. My favorite. Let look it up. So that
And a follow-up question is, do you know who made the gold curse dagger? That was my favorite.
That one was not me. I don't think. Back to basics. Is Saltmarsh. I did not do the loot in Saltmarsh. That one was not me. That one I think was Tonquin Lich. I think one of my favorites. So I do honestly like appreciate, and I know not everyone does, when we get to do some sillier loot. I appreciate.
I love it personally.
I have gotten to make several fish swords now, and I think that's just fun. You know, even if you know, we have a lot of cool looking swords out there, but occasionally I feel like there's got to be somebody who really wants to wear that chef's outfit and wield 2 fish. You know, and DDO is a wide enough thing to support those people as well.
You know what? It's kind of funny because like there are people who are out there that really enjoy, theming their costumes and whatnot and coming up with some crazy unique stuff. So stuff like that really plays to it. Me personally, I'm still hoping out for a deck of cards that could go in an offhand as like an orb or something.
Yeah.
So I got like a card shark character I think was really fun. But yeah, I've seen people like, trash outfits with trash can, lid for the shield and like a straw hat, or they're out there with a fish sword, or they're like a fisherman or something. I'm like, that's great, man.
I like that we've gotten to do both, like Van Richten's cane as an offhand item and the fiddle.
That's a good one.
The fiddle as an offhand item, I really enjoy.
I'm losing your mic again.
Oh no. Getting the fiddle as an offhand item was really fun too. Can you still hear me?
Yep, still got you. Fiddle's the offhand is a fun one, which I concur. That's easily one of the best ones, especially the ones that allows you to play that extra music. That's just a nice touch that, like, you didn't have to go that hard, but everybody loves that you did.
Yeah, that one was me going, I want to do this for the iconic, and I want to make it so that people can cast using the fiddle as like kind of a musical cast animation, and thankfully everybody was on board with the support needed to do that, so that's one I'm really happy with.
So Nibor Chai brought up an interesting topic. Of course, actually I should check in with you. We've been with you for about an hour. You still good to keep going? I don't want to keep you too long. Realize it is your Friday night, so I really appreciate you sacrificing it to be with us here tonight.
Yeah, of course. I can a bit longer, yeah.
But Nibor Chai came up, was talking about hardcore. Their initial question was like, hey, how come we're not getting it as often? But my more personal question around it is like, were you super involved with creating all those unique rules and world specialties and whatnot? No, I completely lost your mic. You're gone. You got full static on me.
Oh no. Hang on.
Okay, I have switched to the webcam mic. How is that?
It works for me. Let me give you a quick volume check.
Okay. Hello.
Yep, seem all right.
All right, let's stick with that, and maybe it won't go all robot. The hardcore season I was most heavily involved with was the Hunthounds.
Nope, you went right back to robot. Oh no.
Oh no.
You rushed. You were so good, and then all of a sudden it just slowly went away.
The microphones don't want me to talk about the Hunthounds.
Oh man, the Hounds! I'm shocked you're able to get that work so well. I'm actually genuinely impressed because that was one. I mean, it was terrifying for one, and then because like I was expecting so many more issues because DDO is so complex with its environments. We have a lot of verticality. We have underwater. We have, a lot of weird angles, right? We're not running through a hallway, right? So, those suckers were... I mean, there may have been an issue too here and there, but, like, for the amount that we had for how well it worked, bravo. You have my full applause on that one.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I had a lot of fun putting them together and like trying to figure out how they were going to be challenging, kind of no matter where they ran into, while not also, completely obliterating low-level players, which they did for a little bit. And
bit.
water
It got me.
water proved to be tricky in a couple of places. We had to do a fix there. But I thought it was just fun. It was, again, a very kind of different way to play DDO, where you're playing this content that you may have been playing for a decade or more. But now it's a little bit different in that every now and again, someone is going to get a hound coming, and you're going to have to stop and deal with it. And you're maybe going to need to change how you approach particular dungeons to say, okay, we shouldn't rush yet into the next thing because there's bound to be a hound very soon. And if we get the hound while we're doing this thing, it's going to be a problem. And then that occasional panic moment of we're doing something important and delicate, and oh no, a hound is coming.
I think my favorite part is actually after hardcore, and you have trained your DDO player base to now like recognize for that sound. So people were playing that sound in groups and like, oh, hound time, and even though the hardcore is over. The worst of it was the mimic event, the mimic hardcore. It's like, all right, well, every chest might be a lethal mimic that might pop out. So we have, every group was trained to like gather up on every chest that was about to be opened before opening it, just to make sure everybody was safe. That lasted with me for months. Like, would not open a chest until somebody else was there, even though we were back on the normal servers.
I've always been an advocate, and it's never gotten traction. I feel like there should be like a 1/8 of 1% chance generally that when you open a chest it just goes mimic on you, but not everyone appreciates that. it would definitely kind of sour some people's experiences if they hit it at the wrong time. So I get it, but I do think the mimics are really fun.
I mean, if you keep it in high enough level content, I feel like it would still be all right. You just don't want to ruin the new player's experience, right? Because
they're just in Korthos, and the first one they open, they roll that 1/8 of 1%, and
I mean, unless it was super weak, but like even still, I think they would find that pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like mimics are pretty D&D iconic. Oh, actually, somebody from another stream and on the forums also mentioned too that they were wanting to ask about the mimic hunt. Apparently, they haven't had a mimic hunt in a long time. I hadn't noticed this.
I hadn't either. I've been
not that you're the event planner, but
yeah, haven't paid close attention to it. I forget the state of it right now. Last I knew, it was in a pretty good. Like, it didn't need all new loot before we ran it again or anything like that. So I think it just hasn't hit the schedule in a long time. But I'd love to see it run again.
Yeah. All right, some homework to give you to do. So that's just what you needed from me. All right, let me see if I got any questions I can spot from chat. Guys, if you have any more questions, go ahead and just drop it in there again. I may have missed it because things flew by and I got distracted. But in the meantime, let's see here. Do I have any of my own more questions? So the fish swords were some of your favorite weapons. Oh, somebody asked earlier. Why did why did we make another fighter iconic? Do you have any of your own insights on that?
Yeah, let's see. What can I get into on that? So some of it is iconics are kind of tricky because they have kind of some complicated systems baggage on the back end about how they can and can't function. And on top of that, a lot of our iconics, almost all of them these days, come as part of these X-Pack bundles that have kind of very specific things that go into them, right? And so it's a combination of some technical hurdles in doing certain things with class picks for iconics, where certain things we could do get very technically difficult or might require a lot of engineering time that they may not have available. On the other end, our iconics have to get approved by, like just about everything else in DDO, by Wizards of the Coast. And so they've got to be on board with whatever we've picked. And
Really? Still?
yeah, I mean,
After
it's
20 years? I understand contracts, but do
Yeah.
do they really even check in on what you guys do these days?
yes, and you know, it had an impact on this iconic as well. So like we do check in each time, and things change with D&D over time as well. So it's worth it to check in every time, and we do. So all those factors together, there were a couple of things we could have done, but none of them kind of fit the lore of what we were trying to do. Out of the options we had available to us in the end, better than fighter. It's been 14 years since our last iconic fighter, which is a long time, but there are classes that admittedly don't have iconics yet. But I think it occupies a little bit of a different niche than Purple Dragon Knight, for instance, in that the way you would approach these fighters is a little bit different, and I think there's enough space for that.
Oh, I agree, 100%. Purple Dragon Knight's really cool. They have a different kit. You almost wish they weren't a fighter, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
When you're trying to get, you can do it obviously, but like, you know, it has that, you know, that charisma to attack and damage, screams paladin, right, or sorcerer maybe, or some weird bard build, right? You know.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
We have that in quite a few iconics. Like we want to make it function as the class that they start as, but also just be able to open up builds so it's not so siloed into the one thing that they start out as, right? We still want them to be useful, interesting build options within DDO.
Which is my favorite part. Well, generally of DDO, but like of the Duergar preview, it's like, oh, well, they can turn these weapons into simple weapons, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
oh, and, you know, you just go off on like, oh, the build juices, you know, they the brain starts tingling. I'm like, that's my favorite start.
Yeah, I'm excited to run a biochemist with Duergar. I think it's going to be an interesting life, and I have a plan for what I want to do for the iconic life here too. So I am excited to hop into live when we go live with it and get those lives going.
Let's see here. What else we got in here? Hey, can we get some more wings at the DDO store? Demon wings, angel wings, etc. They want to spend money on it.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see that as well. I have a couple of pairs that I like personally, and I'm always more for cosmetic options. In the end, I want people to look the way they want to look in game.
Yeah. So hey, which I appreciate. I realize some of these questions aren't necessarily down your line, but filmed them anyway. So I thank you so much. But otherwise, I think that's the list of questions. Neutral Agent apparently needs more green, so that's fun. I super appreciated talking with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
So unless you've got any other stories or stuff you can show us, we can let you go. But again, I really appreciate you.
Thanks. Yeah, I am excited. I can't show anything yet about loot for the expansion pack, but Lamanias are going to be coming soon after U80, and I'm excited for people to check that out then.
All right, man. Guys, that's Steelstar, senior games designer at Standing Stone Games. Look out for Update 80 preview. Lamania 3 coming up probably in the next week or two, I imagine, give or take. Whenever it's ready. Hold on. I've got 2 more questions. I forgot. One of the questions is that how much do you enjoy in your anniversary event your in-game avatar being ruthlessly destroyed over and over again?
It's great. I am glad that people get to kind of take out their frustration on my avatar at that most wonderful time of the year, the anniversary. I think it's been a year or 2 since I've upgraded that fight, though, so I might be due next year to add some new punch to it. Got to keep people on their toes.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And then, if I recall correctly, you have an item in game that is actually named after you yourself. Steelstar's copy. Are you still a big coffee aficionado?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah, there it is.
right here at the desk. Yeah, I am. I drink a lot of coffee, keeps me going in the morning. I got a couple of kids and all this loot to work on, so need that caffeine.
All right, if the bank opens for me, I think I have some on me to show. But follow-up question to that is, do you have a particular brand of coffee you go for?
Oh man, so
Or type?
again, obvious disclaimer of not sponsored, but lately I've been getting the stock like bold cold brew. Comes in a bottle, and doing that on ice with maple syrup. I grew up very close to Vermont, and so everyone there is big on maple syrup, and so am I. And so just maple syrup in the cold brew, nothing else added to it, and it's perfect.
I love it. Yeah, and just for our own reference, Steel's Eternal Flask of the icy pumpkin coffee and the Eternal Flask of super bold blend coffee. So still a favorite of Steel's, apparently. So I think that's pretty fun. And we get some thanks for all the hard work you devs put in. So please pass along our thanks and appreciation as we attempt to actually sign off again. So thanks. Thanks for hanging out, man. It's been a great talking to you. Hopefully we can have you on again sometime. And then we look forward to update 80 and 81 coming down the line, man. So have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
Have a good one. All right, guys. That was it. Man, that was awesome. That was so fun. Seeing behind the scenes of this little test area is so cool. I want to go.